had one of our videos pulled down by YouTube because some contact was displayed without name and all that. So it's more like YouTube does not permit us to do that. So yeah, Sarah, we're waiting for you.
I've done that. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, I just opened Figma now.
Okay. Have you granted me access?
How do I do that, sir?
Sorry, hold on. Let me look at what is showing on your screen first. It says changes you made to Figma, Jambase, while offline haven't been synced. So you can sync the changes or open to sync. Please do that. If not, those files might be lost. Look at the pop-up showing below at the bottom
Uh,
of your Figma screen.
this.
Yes, click on open to sync.
Okay.
So let your stuff get synced. If not, you might lose the changes you've made. And you are opening Figma from your web, right? It's not the
No,
app.
I'm not. I opened the application.
Okay, go back to the application while we give this guy time to.
I've already opened it now. Where you said I should click open to sync something. I just did that and it loaded and it's showing this now. All of
So it
this.
has been synced. It has been synced. Look at what is showing you at the bottom, the dark button, the dark this thing.
Yes, this.
Your offline
Okay,
changes were synced. So it has been synced now.
okay,
So you
sir.
can go back to the link you sent me, go back to the file from your Figma. You can use your
Okay,
Figma app now. Just use your Figma app so that you don't stress yourself on navigation. So
okay.
you know what you need.
I guess this is it.
Okay. You look at where you have the share button. Can you click on that?
Share. Uh, okay. This, right?
Yeah. So you look at where it says only those invited. You click on
Oh,
that.
okay.
Now you click on the button there, change it to anyone.
Okay.
So when you put it like this, it means that anybody that clicks on that link, sorry, before you say, it means
Okay.
that anyone that clicks on the link would have access to this file. But
Okay.
if you don't want anyone to have access to it, you put it to what it was before and ask the person to give you their email. So once the person
Oh,
gives you that email, you can send it to the person. So only that person will have access to it. If any other
okay.
person tries it, the person will be restricted. Does that
But
make sense?
like this, the one that has the anyone option there, is
Yeah.
basically like anyone that has the link, right?
Yes,
Like,
anyone that has the link can view. But if you put it to
okay.
only those are invited, so which means you invite somebody with their email. Once you put the
Okay.
person's email, you've sent the person an
Oh,
invite.
okay.
Yeah, and then you can then detect what the person does. Does the person see just have view access, or the person has edit access, so the person can make changes to your document?
Okay. So I can put it to edit, right?
Yes, then the person you're sharing with or anyone that is joining is
Okay.
able to edit it. Okay,
Okay.
can share. So if I let me try and okay. So I think I'm having access now.
Okay.
So while you're still sharing your screen.
Can I exit this or I should still leave it here?
Yeah, you can, you can.
Okay.
You can exit it, please. Okay, so I want you to walk us through what you did.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Um, I actually tried to replicate what we did in our previous class. So I'm coming. Okay. So I started like with the start, that's the landing page. Like this is the home page. So I now went down to this part here, whether the customer or the user has an account. So if the user actually has an account, it proceeds to logging in, just like when you interface with any application, say for example a banking app or any website, actually they will request that you fill in your details if you already have an account, and if you're a new
Sorry,
user,
sorry, Victory. Okay. Can you zoom in a little bit more so that we can see better?
is this okay?
Go in, go in. No, no, you're going out. You should go in. We want to be able to
Okay.
see exactly the places you are making reference to now.
Can you
Okay.
see it now?
Yeah, that's better now. Proceed.
Okay. Okay. So I started with the landing page. That's the start. So I used stats for mine. Then we proceeded to ask if the user has already has an account or
Mhm.
is actually a new user. So if perhaps the user doesn't have an account with this company or with the product, right?
Mhm.
He's directed to create an account. And if he already has an account, then he proceeds to logging in. So from this login page, I'll just start with the login page. So from this login page, he enters his details. Um, just like I tried to use the banking app I make use of. So I realized that if I should enter a wrong detail, they would request that, okay, I should probably send in my email. If I forgot my password,
Mhm.
they would request that I send my email or any means through which they can send me a PIN or a code that I can
Mhm.
use to either reset my password or access, in order to access the whatever I'm looking for. So from this login page, if my details here, that is this decision, yes, the decision box. Yes, this is the decision box. In this place, it's the input box where I enter my details. It requests that, okay, I should enter my details. And then after entering the details, it then notices that, oh, are these details correct or incorrect? If it's correct, it proceeds to verify, and then I'm able to access the home page. But if otherwise, it requests that maybe I enter my email or my phone number, like a means through which a code, say an OTP can be sent, right? And then when I enter the OTP sent, does the OTP sent to me? Right here, right? It takes me to the login box, this place where I would have to re-enter my information again, all the details, so I can access this point. That's for the user that already has an account. And
Mhm.
then for a new user, from this decision box here, where it decides, oh, I'm a new user, this is my first encounter with this product. Um, the new user has to create an account. So here is the input, that's the input or output box where the user enters his or her details to create an account. So here, I don't think there would be errors, right? Like say maybe you're entering I didn't include that here, so I don't know if I should include it. But here I just felt there there will not be error. There may not be error because you are a new user. So you're just filling in your details and
You're
everything.
correct.
And
You're
then
correct.
okay. And then it proceeds to process all the information that the user has entered. So it's not even checking that, oh, I want to check if the phone number this person has entered is correct, unless maybe they request for a country code. Maybe you are entering the right country code, but you are using the wrong number format.
Mhm.
And then when it proceeds here, it goes down to this place, right? And then the user enters details. This proceeding here is to create an account. So
Mhm.
when the user enters his or her details, the processing takes place and then the account is created. So it now takes the user back to this spot here where he's able to log in um and then is able to access the home page. And if he enters wrong details, it still goes through the process I explained here and then
Okay.
down and is able to access the home page. Thank you, sir.
Okay. That was beautiful. Thank you. And happy to also see that you specifically didn't follow what I did. Yeah, this is impressive. Does anybody have anything to say to her concerning what she has done? Do you find anything contradicting, or you want to bring a correction, or there's something you want to say that would have suggest that she should have done it differently or even better? Anybody? Just before we proceed. Okay, nobody. Okay, Sarah, my feedback. Two things. Number one, when you're drawing your lines, try to put your line on the what's it called? Give me a minute. Try to put your line on the shapes and not on a line because it could be a little bit confusing. There are two things I could spot. Let me show you that from my end. So just so that what was that? Okay. So if you see what I'm showing you, you see the Uh-huh. No, Siri, not you, please. Okay. Okay, so if you see what I'm showing you here, the arrow here shouldn't be pointed at. Can you see me?
Yes, I can. I can see you. Yes.
Okay. The arrow shouldn't be pointed on the arrow. It should be it should be on a shape. Whoa, that was flying than I expected.
Mm.
So then you can change. It should be on the shape and not
Okay.
on an arrow. You
Oh,
get,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
it should always be on the shape so that we know the action that is supposed to be taken there. And
Okay.
secondly, that's my first correction. Secondly, I think you the choice of naming used for this action uh, is not so correct. Now let me
Okay.
let you know why I said that. So if the user log into your account, it goes to the user on this page, user provides the details, and yeah, it should be what's it called? Petal. Yeah.
Error. Error.
So I don't think this should be a decision. Remember that this box, the user is supposed to make a decision. So you are asking the user to decide if it's a correct login details or and incorrect login details. So I don't
Oh.
know if
What
that
I
was what.
actually what I actually meant here was um like the process in which you're able to determine whether the details from the user is correct. That was what I was trying to imply there.
Yes,
I
but I
don't
get
think I'm
that.
sure.
I get that. But then you remember that that shape specifically is used for the user making a decision.
Oh, okay.
You remember the
Yes.
diamond shape is used for the user. So you are prompting the user to make a decision, just like you used at the do you have an account? You
Yes.
know, already. So the user needs to make a decision. So you're using it here to say incorrect login details. So the user is supposed to make a decision if the login detail is correct or incorrect, which is not
Oh,
supposed to be. You get.
okay. Yeah.
So what could have happened is, let's see, log into your account. Just hold on. Mhm. So I don't think this is supposed to be here. You are supposed to go straight into verifying the account.
Okay.
Yeah. So it should be
But
verify
what's
login. Sorry.
go ahead, sir.
So it
Anyway.
should be verify login. It should be verify login. And then that's where you now see if it's yes or no. So if it is yes, it takes the user to the home page. If it is no, it takes the user here. So remember process, this is supposed to be for process. So that's what's supposed
Okay.
to be under the process. The system makes the decision by itself. Whenever you
Okay.
have anytime there's a process, you have a process like this, the system is the one making the decision. The
Okay.
system is the one doing the checking, knowing if it is correct, should I go with it or not. But if you have it this way, then the user is the one making the decision. So,
Okay.
so I think this should be omitted, and we should just have verify and then proceed from there. So the
Okay.
way you
So
can now have this is what you can now have this is so if I'm going to make a change to this is what I would do. Just hold on. Um, why am I not able to grab this guy out? Okay, that guy's not there yet. I don't know what's happening now. Okay, let me just remove it. Same thing here. Okay, what do I do now? Oh, okay. This is what we can do. So let me see. Um, change this to incorrect login. And change this to what did you have this for? Verify. Okay, let's hold on. Shape is changed to I don't want to mess up this stuff. I don't want to take it too long. Okay. So I think this is how it should be. Um, this guy should not be here. So this is how it should be. Login details, verification. Then here you can see you can use different word verified, or you can see um, if the login is approved. What's the font size? Medium. Login approved. Then here you can now add the text to say yes. Okay, no. It's no. Medium. Then here and add the text. Say yes. Do you understand what I did? Are you there? Oh, so I think what's it called? I think Sarah dropped off the call. Let me share my screen. Okay, so I don't think Sarah is back. Yeah, so I think this is how Sarah should have done it. Um, it should have been, okay, so like I was saying, this is how it should have been. It should have been that from the login to your account, you're supposed to verify the user's detail. And if the login is approved, yes, the user gets to the home page. If the login is disapproved, it is no, the user goes this way. Is Sarah back? She's not back. Okay, the user go this way. Thirdly, so I've said two things to her now. The third one is after the user tries to create an account, and that is the user successfully creates an account, and you say processing slash account created, it shouldn't take the user back to this point where the user is requested to select if the user wants to log in or user wants to log out. You know, once the user creates the account, it should automatically sign the user in. So this button is supposed to take the user in. It should automatically sign the user in. Yeah, so from the login, the user should be automatically signed in. When you try to create an account from any of the apps you use, once you successfully create an account, it doesn't take you back to the initial standpoint and requesting you to sign in again. It automatically takes your credential, push it into the database, and grant you access. Now, the only reason why when it should take you back to login is if you try to retrieve your account. let's say you forgot your email or you forgot your password, and it takes you through a process of retrieving your email or your password, which is from this point. So once, and then something that she didn't do, she was supposed to tell us at what point was the OTP verified. So if she says, yeah, so log in. Okay, so I think she's dropping a message. Let me see what she's saying. Okay, so um from this point, enter email and phone number. Yes. Once an OTP is sent, enter OTP. It doesn't end at entering OTP. The user is then requested to create new password. So she didn't include that. So the user should be requested to create a new password. So the user needs to put a new password. If password successful, then you take the user to this point. The user now needs to sign in appropriately. So let me leave her a comment. Um, yeah, I can do audio. Mm. Okay, so when she joins us, we would find a way to still pass that information to her. So the rest of us, it will be good for you to go practice, try to come up with something, try to work on a flow. So she's using a banking app. Um, yeah, your app can determine a lot of things, how you want your flow to be and all that. So for today, we'll be going fully into, we will be going full. Okay. So is everybody having network issues? I think a number of persons have dropped off the call. Or is it the same people? Okay. Omar is, okay, I think just Omar had alert. Okay, so for today, this was where we stopped last week. For today, we'll be going down into the design. So I'm going to walk us through how to, how to approach Figma, and then we'll just see how far we can go. I know we've already spent some time at the beginning. This page happens to be very heavy. So why are you heavy? Yeah, so- Okay, so I'm going to start from scratch. Let me try to open. Sorry, let me try to open a new page. Okay, so from your home page, let me show you. You can open a please confirm you. Can you confirm you guys are here so I know I'm not speaking to myself?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. From your home page, you can navigate to starting a new project by clicking on the icon here that shows design, or clicking on the plus tab here. Either of the two can take you to creating a new document. So if I click on this, see what it pops up, asks me what am I trying to create. I use the top plus sign there, design file, click jam file, slide, pause. I just need to select, or I need to search something from my reset file. If I use the button here, it's going to take me directly into creating, because here I'm already selecting what I exactly want. So either of which you use is fine. So we're going to click on design. Let's open a new file. So when you click on design, this is what happens. Figma takes its time to prepare your interface. My computer, I currently use dark mode for my Figma. That's why it is showing like this. So I'm going to change this, or let me try and change my theme. I don't know if every one of you is confident with dark mode. I mean, let me use a light mode so that you guys don't see something different. And I know a lot of people, light mode is too bright. So I feel very comfortable using the dark mode. So this was what we opened. Now, because I was initially using a dark mode, the screen still retained the color of my. So let me delete this and try open another one. So this guy is saved. Delete, go to trash. Let me open a new one. Let me see. What's this? The out of files for which this one exactly? What file am I on there? Projects. So I think I should use the one I created for us, and not the one I personally crafted. UI. Okay, for the site. So I'm going to click it again, use the button. So it's opening. Let's see if it's going to still retain the dark screen or it's going to give us a light screen this time around. I just want to be sure. So we can see here that it changed the background of my screen background. It used the light mode this time around because the theme I'm using currently now is a light mode theme. So just changed it. Because using a dark mode theme, it's going to give me a dark background in my interface. Meanwhile, I can change the background at any time. So um, I would leave us to navigate through Figma by ourselves at your spare time. Just what's the other time? I'll leave us to navigate through Figma at our spare time. So I'll just show us the basics. At the top, you have what this the navigation bar where you can get to different aspects of the application. Oh, yes, you can get to different aspects of the application. Files, edit, view, objects, text, arrange, vector, plugin, widgets, Windows help. All of these are things that you would use in-app. Some of them are inactive currently. When you start designing and you make necessary attempts as to what you activate them, they are going to pop up and you can make use of them. So I want to believe every one of us use computers, so we know what navigation does. If you've used Microsoft Word or any, you know that all of these buttons use things that are supposed to help you customize certain things you're doing or how you are using the app or how you intend to use the application on your current project. So the what I will major mostly on in our designing in our class is for today is what we have at the bottom here. This is one. Number two, what we have at this side. And number three, what we have at the left side. So here you have the Figma logo, which is the menu bar. You click on it. Everything you have at the top here is still showing in here. Everything you have at the top here is still showing in here. So you can either navigate through using what you have at the top, or you can navigate using this, what you have over here. The icon here is your what you use to either minimize or maximize your menu bar. If I click on it, the menu bar goes hidden, both the one on the left and the one on the right. They both go hidden. So if I want to work and I need my screen to be free, I don't want to have the menu bars popping out. I'll do that. If I want them to come back, I click on it. They both appear both sides. So off bar, on bar. Next, you have here is how you can name your project. So if I click on it, I'm able to give the project a name. So I'll say UI class, UI class what? Let me leave it at that. So let me name this file one, UI class one. Click on enter and it is saved. I can click on the icon at the bottom side to it to make certain changes to it. I can show version history. The good thing about showing version history, let me explain this real quick. So there are times where I've done a design for a client and the client then asked me to make changes to it. And I made changes, made changes, made changes. And then after the entire change, the client then came back and said, "Oh, please don't be offended. We don't want those changes again. We want that initial one that you have created for us." So while Figma does not give us the opportunity to have duplicate version of a particular project. So what I mean by duplicate version is you can duplicate a project, yes. What I mean by that is I can't keep saving many copies of the project just to retain different versions of it. So what Figma does is that it gives you an opportunity to backtrack your design. So I can click on it and go to an earlier version, let's say like a month ago, where I stopped in my design process like a month ago. I can go back to it, extract a file from it, and then come back to what I currently have. Remember, I said to us that Figma is a web-based data program. So what it does is that every action you make, everything you do, Figma saves it in a database, an online database. So you are able to go back there to retrieve your files if need be. But just so you know, you are not the files you are able to retrieve is under a certain time lag. You can't go beyond certain times. So I think let me click on this first and see. Okay, so we created this file 9:09 p.m. today. You check here. So when I clicked on it, my navigation, my what this displayed here changed. So I created this file 9:09 p.m. This is the current version where I am now. So if I do anything to this page and I want to return back to what it initially was, I'll click on this and Figma will return me back to this. So it's showing me here now, I'm viewing the version of 9:09 p.m. If I click on this other version, it takes me to a current version. So let me give you an example because my screen is blank, you're not seeing anything. Let's say I, let me try. Let's say I draw something. Okay, let me close this. No. And let's say I have a folder. So this is a new version. I've started editing. And let's say we've done a lot of things and I want to return to my initial version. I come down to Figma, what we have here, I click on it, show version history. I click on version history, what I have here. So now it shows me my current version, which is where I am, the version that we started with. If I click on that, the thing I had on my screen is out. If I go back to my current version, how far? Where are my stuffs? Need to save. Okay, let me try that again. So I think something went wrong. So we have this. Let me give it a little time, 9:13. So we're going to come back to this. Let us give it some time to sink in, and then we'll try it again to see that we can return to a previous version. Let us give it time for this because Figma saves your file by itself. So let's give it some time to do the saving. So every other thing you have there, you can publish your library. What it means to publish your library is that you can make it open to people to see. I showed us about the community last week. So you can publish your design to the community for people to see randomly. You know, yeah, you can publish it for people to see. The next, export. You want to export certain things on the design. You can click on a folder. You can also export from here. But let me just focus on what we have here first. So you want to export, you want to add to slide bar, you want to create a branch, you want to fill 5 color match profile. That's the colors you're using on your system. I don't like tampering with that. Just leave that. You want to duplicate the project. You want to rename the project. You want to go to your all of your other projects. You want to move the file to a different project folder. You want to move the file to trash. That's you want to delete it. Then the next you have here is now this is it tells you the team the file is under the project the team the file is under. I can click on that to navigate to the team. So it's under UI design class. This is the file we created. This is the one we used earlier. This is the one we wanted to use for teaching, which we're going to come back to. So I'll go back to our class now. Okay, I'll come back to our class. Yeah, so the rest of the things you have here, this choose free, you're using a free account. Under here, you have two icons, two buttons, sorry, two button and an icon. So under here, you have file and you have assets. Assets are, I told us about library a while ago, where you can take things, reusable stuff, and use either the ones you've created on your project or the ones you've created in your previous project. So if you see for here, there are libraries that I can take files from. Example, action sheets. All of these are in my library. I can take them to use them, work faster on what I want to do. We created a toggle button a while ago. You see the button, I can insert it to my design. This is the button here. It seems to be very small. Instead of creating one from scratch, I can insert it to my design. Let me reduce this, guys. It seems to be very big. And then I'll zoom in. Yeah, I can insert it. So that's what I have under assets. Under assets, I can see all components that have been created across my design and across other folders if I make them visible for me to use them across designs. Then here, let me go back to file. What you have under file is that number one, you have pages. So under Figma, you can create more than one page. But because we're using a free version, it tells us that we can only create 3 pages. We already have one here, which is automatically, which was automatically created. It said 2 free pages left. So I'm able to create, I have the possibility to create 2 more pages, and that's it. 2 more pages and that's it. Then so page 1, I can click on it to create a new page. So you have page 2 and do what I want to do on page 2, but I don't need page 2 for now, so I'm going to delete it. So page 1, I can rename the page whatever I want. I just need to double tap on it. Double click on it. It gives me an opportunity to rename it. I can rename, add anything or remove the entire thing and add. So left to me. For now, underneath it, you have what you call layers. Layers is very important. What happens under layers is that everything you introduce to your screen here is recorded under layer. You can make action to it from layers. So if you have a project where there are thousands of things on your screen, every one of them will be displayed under a layer. So you see, if I move my icon under layer here, it can point, takes me that the objects that I'm highlighting from under layers is showing a sign that I'm currently interacting with it on both sides. So if I'm tapping it from here, you can see that it's highlighting on both sides. It shows me that this is the what I'm currently. I can use the button here to lock it, to unlock it, or to hide it and view it. Depends on what I want. So it's left to us. So that brings us to the end of what we have on this section. Now, this other section, let's come down here. This other section happens to be very important. Very, very, very important because a number of things you do in Figma when it comes to making adjustments to things like this, to this, but to these shapes, when you see a UI, you see it looks very nice and put together. It actually started with being a shape, either a button or whatever. It started with being a shape. Now it's under this section that you can now start making adjustments to it, start improving it to look exactly like what you would want. So if I click out, just notice what happens to this section. So now I'm currently clicking on this shape. So when I click out of the shape, the section changes. So when I click on a shape, so just consider this to be like your property section that gives you the opportunity to make adjustment and changes to a particular shape or object you're clicking. Any object you're clicking, you can make changes to it. So now under this aspect, now if I let me not click first, I'm not going to be clicking on anything. Let me show you what it looks like neutral on a neutral aspect. So you can take your time to explore all of this. I'm just going to hit on the basics. So I can change the color of what I have on my background from here. So it shows me my page. I can style up my page how I want it to be. So let me copy this first. Now, yes, this is very necessary. When it comes to design, we don't call colors by name. We call colors by number. I'm not going to I'm not going to take the time here to explain how we came about that name or how you can make adjustment to the name. I'm not going to do that today because of time. But just know that when it comes to design, colors are identified by code. For instance, if I want what's it called? Black. I want a very solid black. Now let me use these two stuff we have here. If I want a very solid black, what I would do, let me click on this. So this one, look at the color code. The color code of this is D9, D9, D9. If I want a very solid black, I would use O, 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 O. Enter. It gives me black. If I want to get white, the color code for white is F. So I'll use F, F, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Enter. It gives me white. If I want to get something like gray, I can use F1, 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 F1. It gives me a lighter shade of gray. Bring it to the front. So, yep. Now, some persons will now say, how do I add colors to my designs, being that I don't know codes on how to come about colors? So if I click on this green here now, for instance, here you can see that the green has a name. Now, this is possible because that we have created a library. Remember, I told us library, taught us how to come about a library and what's it called? Design system. I told us about design system, where you are able to use colors across a design and a project and all that. Now, this is having a name. So if you see when I put my cursor on it, you can see underneath it shows the name of the green, Accents green. Then it shows you the color code, hashtag hash 34C759. That's what it shows you. And then the 100% there is the level of opacity. It shows that it's not transparent. The more you reduce it down to zero would make it transparent. So now this is possible because we gave this color a name for this particular project. So whenever we want to use colors from our library, we know how to select colors. I showed us that. I'm not going to take my time to go into that again today. You can go watch the class where we talked about design system. So now, if I want to remove that name that we put and let this color stays in its original state, I'm going to detach the variable that was created on this color. If I detach that, you see, it shows me just the color code now. So when I'm designing, this is what pops up. Now, because I've been able to modify that particular color to have a name only for this project. If I open a new project, it doesn't have a name. So the system, you are the one giving it a name to see. The system still identifies it as a code. So I'm going to go back. Now, if you want to pick colors randomly, what you just need to do, when you click on it, it shows you a small color box here. Instead of putting a code, it shows you a small color box here. You click on the color box, it pops up your color of, you can any shade you want for want of time, but I would, as I always advise, create your design system that embodies the colors that you are supposed to use across your project so that you don't have random colors that are not matching in your project, in your design. That would not show that there's a balance in your that does not show brand balance, that your branding balance. So your colors are displaced, you're using across your design. So we're still trying to understand the interface for Figma. So you want to change the this shape from being solid shape to a gradient. I use the next one there. It turns to a gradient. I can change the color of what we have on the gradient, make it a gradient shape instead of a solid shape. I can change it to pattern. It gives me a pattern. Let me zoom in well so that you see the pattern. It gives me a pattern to use. There are different types of pattern to use. There are basically two types. Uh, you can make adjustment to it. The next one here is image. If you want to change, let me go back to this. If you want to change, make the shape an image, click on the image there. It will change and ask you to upload from your computer or use an AI to generate an image. If you want to add a video, you use the same thing, the button there, and you need to upload. Now, you cannot upload video for this because we're using a free version. So the only thing we're entitled to is to upload an image. So I would leave that for now. When we start designing, I'll be able to explain every other little thing that we have. Meanwhile, my library is also showing here. I can see colors that I've created under my library. So you see tons of colors I've created: red, orange, yellow, green, and all that. But I'll not stay on that for today. So I'm going to close this. Now, while we'll be using the next you have under here is style. This also involves you have variables. Variables are for when you create what's it called? A component, but we'll get to that later. Style is for the what you've created under your library. You want to make adjustment to the colors in your project, or you want to create a new color and all that. Export, like I showed us earlier, is to export something you have on your screen or everything you have on your screen. So prototype is to display your design for someone to view your design. I've showed us some prototypes previously when we were looking at some other projects. So I'll not dwell so much on that. We'll look into that much later, how to do prototype and all that. So I'm just trying to make you understand the interface, what to expect when we jump directly into the design. Okay. So I was trying to see if you want to change the background from what you have here, like I told us, you click on the icon or use a code. It depends on what you want. But in most cases, it is good. Now, this is your background, everything is changed. In most cases, it is good to use a very white or black because other colors have a way of affecting your eye. Staring so much on them can not put a proper balance of how you judge the use of colors across your design. So use something very mild, something very simple. Even when we use black, I don't advise to use solid black like this. I don't advise it. Use something a little bit shade of gray that's not going to be too heavy on your eye. Something like this is fine. Sometimes I use 1313, 131313. Am I correct? Yeah. Use something like this or use something like that, but it should not be 100% black. Should not be full black. For white also, I do not advise you use full white to be too sharp, too heavy for your eye while you are designing. So you use something mild, a little bit gray. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of that. Now I'll come down to what you have here. Just like we had on when we use FigJam, the icons here is also used to create things. This is a picker, mover, selector. You use this, your move to click and drag things. That's what you use this for. You can change it to your hand tool to drag your entire screen or to your scale to reduce the size of your screen. But fortunately, you guys not responding at the moment. So I'll leave that. I'll come back to that later when we are designing. The next you have here is your frame. Now, be very attentive to this. The frame is the size of the interface you intend to design on. So just like Apple device, your phone device has a specific screen size, some bigger screen, some smaller screen. On Figma, we consider those screen sizes to be called frames. So let me put it this way. This is a frame. This is a frame. Currently, they are shapes. Or let me say this way, this can be a frame. This can be a frame. A frame is actually a shape. But in this case, it has been modified to be used to create a component or a full design. A frame can be prototyped. A shape cannot be prototyped. When we go into design proper, we understand these things I'm saying. I'm just trying to make us know where to find these things. So let me use, for instance, if I click on frame here, I'm asked to see, we check the property bar you have here. I'm asked to select which frame I intend to use on this project that we're working on. And you can see here we have tons of devices. I have iPhone 17, 17, 16, and 17 Pro, 16, 17 Pro Max, and all that. I come down to Android. I come down to tablets. I come down to desktop. Ask me MacBook, blah, blah, blah. I come down to presentations, just sizes of screens. 1920 by 1080 is your regular YouTube display size. Then you have 4:3, which is 1020 by 768. Then you have wristwatches, Apple wristwatches, you have papers, A4, A5, blah, blah, blah. You have social media you want to make for Twitter, Instagram, Dribble. Mm. Yeah, Dribble and the rest. LinkedIn cover, then Figma community, icon, banner, archive. Now, archive is every other was every other frame that Figma had used in the past. So you want to search for instance, now under the iPhone part here now, we don't have like iPhone 11. So let's say you really want to create something for iPhone 11 and Figma does not have iPhone 11 for you here. What you just need to do is go under archive. You'll be able to see older devices that Figma has kept or put aside. So you have iPhone 11, 13 mini, blah, blah, blah. You see 11 Pro Max, you see Surface Pro, those are older ones that they've put aside. So under your frame, what happens is that, so now let's say I want to create something that fits the screen size for iPhone 17. So what I do, what I do is that I click on my frame, I come where it is, and I click on 17, iPhone 17. The frame pops up. So since it's labeled there, iPhone 7, iPhone 17. Let me try something else. I click on this. Let's try iPhone 13 or 14. Gives me iPhone 13 or 14. Let me try another one, something smaller. Um, Android Medium. So each frame, let's try something for a desktop. Let's say it's a laptop. Let's say iPad. No, let's not do tablet. Let's do Apple MacBook Air. Click on it. This is a screen size for your MacBook. So you now want to start designing things. You now know, am I designing for a phone screen? Let me make my background a little bit darker so that some of you can see the things I'm showing because the thing looks like it's not blending well for you guys. So am I designing for a phone screen? Or am I designing for a medium tab? Or am I designing for a laptop? You can pick your frame and start designing your stuff in here. It gives you the exact size of what the device should look like. Yeah, so that's for frame. Under frame, there are other stuff. There's selector, like what we had before. You want to select a couple of things. There is slice. Used to slice stuffs. Yeah. Oh my God. The next, you have your shape. Under shape, you have a number of shapes, rectangle, line, arrow, ellipse. I'm not going to start opening all of those shapes. So you have tons of shapes. You can pick any of them to create shapes like I did here in creating these rectangles. The next you have here is pen. From your pen, I can create lines as I want. I can use any of these other things here to change the line, bend the line, cut the line, and all that. The next I have is text. I can put input text. The next I have is chat. You can click on it and add a chat. like I explained to us what chat was. The next we have is action. Action is I want to do, I've showed us what action was too on FigJam, so I'm not going to explain that. It's typically the same thing. Action is typically the same. Then under here, I'm currently using the design feature for this. I can change it to draw and select that, okay, I want to draw something to use on my design. So I want to draw something, a shape I want to use on my design. Eraser, this is paint tool. Okay, so I can change it to code, dev mode. But dev mode is not active on this because we are not using, we're using a free version. Once we upgrade, we can then active dev mode. What happens in dev mode is that if you can really see what is showing here, for those persons that are in this class that are taking the Python or what the development class, you'll see that you can extract a code directly from here. Let's say I create a button, you can just take the code of the button and go and paste it into your design. It will give you the exact feature, the exact button, the exact color, the exact text, the fonts, and everything that's used. So one can develop an application directly from copying code from Figma. So I'll go back to my design. So that's all with everything we have on the interface. Remember what I told us about layers? The layer shows us everything that we're doing on our screen. Can you see everything we've added on our screen? Layers shows you everything. You click on any of them and do whatever it is you want. So, do we have any question, please? So today I'm taking my time to explain Figma. Tomorrow we'll go into the design proper. We'll start by learning how to design. So I want us to start with something like this. We'll start by learning how to design a screen like this. So we'll pick one of them and we'll design. I just want us to know how to use the basic tool. Then from there, once we know how to design, we'll now go back to our user flow, this, and start creating all these screens. I want us to create every one of these screens, and then we're going to test it. We'll prototype it, we'll test it. All of you will test it on your phones and see the design alive. It is going to be functioning like you are using an app, a real-time app. So that's the trajectory we're working with. So tomorrow, we're going to be starting off with design, that screen, this screen. Yeah, and then we'll proceed from there. Any question, please, just before I bring the class to a close. Okay, so I suppose no question. Can you guys hear me? Confirm you can hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So tomorrow's class, I'm probably going to stay longer just because I came in a little bit late today. So tomorrow we'll start 8:10 on the dot and see how far God will help us to cover. So I think at this time it will not be good for you to miss classes because we are going to be going straight into design. And many times, if you are not really in class, well, you can watch the video. But if you have questions, you might not get the opportunity to get a spontaneous answer. Okay, I look forward to seeing us tomorrow. Have a good night rest. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Good night, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a nice day, sir.